How's it, grade 11s? Today we're going on to quadratic equations involving fractions. Okay, so you can pause the video anytime you want and just get down these notes. Okay, so just a couple of things to run through. Remember that division by zero is undefined, therefore we must always check our answers to make sure that the denominators are not zero. Steps in doing these, which you'll see when I do the examples, so don't worry about it too much now. We need to factorize all the denominators. Just like with any fraction question, we need to find an LCD. Multiply everything by your LCD, okay, to get rid of the denominators, and then check your answer, which we don't really need to do because we can give restrictions, okay? So if we have a look at the first example, which I've got written over here. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find or decide if I need to factorize the denominators, which we don't because we've just got x minus 1, x plus 2. You'll see with the other examples where we have to factorize. Okay, so our LCD here is going to be x minus 1 and then x plus 2. Okay, what I'm going to do with this LCD is I'm going to multiply every term by this LCD. Okay, so you can see if I multiply this whole term by this, the x minus 1 will cancel with the x minus 1 and we just left with the x plus 2. So what we left there with is 2x multiplied by x plus 2. Okay. Over here, if I multiply this term by this, the x plus 2 will cancel with the x plus 2, and we're left with x minus 1. So we're left with 4 times x minus 1. Okay, equals. Now, over here, we don't have an LCD, so it's just going to be this multiplied, or a denominator rather. We're just going to have this multiplied by LCD. So we have 5 times x minus 1. X plus 2. And what I'm going to do from here, grade 11s, I'm not going to do that check and see if our answers are correct. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to list our restrictions. So, restriction. And the restriction comes from our denominator, okay, where we can just read it straight from our LCD. So, for example, if I make x 1 over here, and how did I get 1? I just set this equal to 0 and I solve for x. Okay, so if I make x 1, I'm going to get 0 here, which is, you can't do because we can't divide by 0 over here. So x cannot be equal to 1, and the other one is going to be x cannot be equal to minus 2, because again, that would make that 0 over there. Okay, so all I'm going to do now is just distribute, FOIL, and distribute. Okay, so here we get 2x squared plus 4x plus 4x minus 4 is equal to. Now I'm going to miss a couple of steps here, grade 11s. What I'm going to do is I'm going to FOIL and then multiply by 5. So x times x is x squared, so we get 5x squared. Okay, so that will give us plus 2x, minus x is just x, times 5 gives us 5x. And then that gives us minus 2 times 5 is minus 10. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take everything to the right-hand side, because then that will just be positive, because if I take that over, it will be a negative, and my highest power is positive. So 0 equals 5x squared minus 2x squared gives us 3x squared. Then that will give us 8. Take it to the other side, becomes a minus. So then we get minus 3x. And then that becomes a plus, so we get minus 6. Just divide through by 3 to make our lives easier. Then we can factorize. And we get x is equal to 2, or x is equal to minus 1. Now what I need to do is I must just make sure that my solutions aren't in my restriction. Okay, So 2 minus 2, so this is a solution. Minus 1, 1, this is a solution. If any of these solutions came out to be either 1 or minus 2, we couldn't have them because it would force the denominator to be 0. Okay, so we don't need to check our answers, we can just check with our restriction. Okay, going on to example 2. Okay, I've got it written over here. All right, so I need to check the denominators and I've got to make sure that they are factorized. So this one over here is not factorized, so I can factorize that trinomial. This is not factorized, I need to factorize that difference of two squares before I even find an LCD. Okay, so this is going to be x minus 3. And if I factorize this, we're going to get x 2, 1 plus minus, factorize the difference of two squares, equals minus 4, and this one does not need to be factorized. Okay. Okay, now we're ready to find our LCD. I start right from the beginning. I need an x plus 2, so I put it down. I need an x plus 1, I put it down. X plus 2, I've already got an x plus 2, so I don't need to put that down. X minus 2, I don't have an x minus 2 here, so I need to put that down. X plus 1, I've got an x plus 1, I don't need to put it down. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply each one of these terms by the LCD. So if I multiply this one by the LCD, you can see that x plus 2 will cancel with x plus 2, x plus 1 will cancel with the x plus 1, and we're just left with this x minus 2. So what are we left with there? We're left with x minus 3 multiplied by x minus 2. Okay, then we've got minus 5. If I multiply this term by the LCD, the x plus 2 will cancel with the x plus 2, the x minus 2 will cancel with the x minus 2, and we're just left with the x plus 1 equals minus 4. Multiply this term by the LCD, the x plus 1 will cancel with the x plus 1, and we're just left with x plus 2, x minus 2. Okay, now just to put down our restrictions, if I can just put them over here. Read it straight from your LCD. So x cannot be equal to minus 2. X cannot be equal to minus 1. And x cannot be equal to 2. Okay, if any one of our solutions come out to be one of those three numbers, we cannot have it. All right, so I'm going to FOIL this one, distribute, FOIL, distribute. Okay, so that'll give us x squared minus 2x minus 3x is minus 5x plus 6 minus 5x minus 5 equals. I'm going to miss a couple of steps here. Okay, so I'm going to FOIL then distribute. So that'll give us x squared minus 4x squared. That'll give us minus 2x plus 2x, they cancel. That'll give us minus 4 times minus 4 is plus 16. All right, so grade 11, so I'm just going to take the minus 4x squared to that side because then my highest power of x is positive. So take that to that side and we get 5x squared. Okay, minus 5x is minus 10x. Plus 6 minus 5 is 1. Take that to that side is minus 16, so we get minus 15 equals 0. Divide 3 by 5 just to make it a little bit easier to factorize, and we get x squared minus 2x minus 3 equals 0. Factorize the trinomial. And we get x is equal to 3, or x is equal to minus 1. Now I must just check my solutions that they don't fall in the restriction. So 3 is definitely none of these, so that is a solution. -1, there it is there. So this is not a solution. If we chose x to be -1, it would be 0 over there and 0 over there. This thing would be undefined. So we can't have that solution. All right, so we just do it just like that. All right, grade 11s. Last example, example 3. Okay, so this one is a little bit different, but not too bad. So first of all, we've just got to check the denominators. I do not need to factorize. This I do need to factorize, okay? And this one here is a problem. The reason why is because our highest power of x is negative. You see there, negative 2x. We don't want that. So I'll show you how we deal with that now. First of all, we're going to factorize here. So this one doesn't need to be factorized. So we just get 2x plus 3 over 2x minus 1 minus 2 equals. Factorize this trinomial and we get 2x minus 1 x plus 2. Now, with this one over here, this is exactly the same as saying minus 2x plus 1, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out the negative to make this a positive. So if I take out that negative, I'm left with 2x minus 1, okay? Just remember, if I distribute that negative back in here, I need to get this, okay? Now that negative over there is now going to affect this positive. So positive and a negative will give us a negative. And this will be 1 over 2x minus 1. And that's what we want now. Our highest power of x is positive. Okay, so just don't forget to change that sign over there. All right, so our LCD. Two x minus 1. Okay, that one doesn't have one. 2x minus 1, we have 2x minus 1. X plus 2 we need. And 2x minus 1, we have it. Okay, while I'm at it, I just want to write our restrictions. Okay, so x cannot be equal to 1 over 2. If you don't know how I got this, grade 11s, just set this equal to 0 and solve for x. This one over here, x cannot be equal to minus 2. Okay, I'm going to multiply each term by our LCD. If I multiply this one by LCD, the 2x minus 1 will cancel with that, and we're just left with 2x plus 3, x plus 2, minus. This will just be multiplied by the LCD, nothing cancels there. Okay, 2x minus 1 will cancel there, x plus 2 will cancel there, and we're just left with 12x. Then we've got minus 2x minus 1 will cancel there, and you're just left with x plus 2. Okay, FOIL out, so we get 2x squared. That'll give us plus 4, 7x, plus 6. Okay, that'll give us 2x minus 4x. That'll give us 4. That'll give us 3 minus 6x. Minus 2 plus 4 equals 12x minus x minus 2. Okay, so I'm going to take everything to this side because now our highest power of x is positive. So we get 2x squared. Okay, so we have here 7 minus 4 minus 6 minus 12 plus 1. And we get minus 14x. Okay, now I'm going to do the numbers. So we've got 6 plus 4 plus 2. And we get 12. Divide through by 2 to make our lives easier. and then we can factorize. So we get x is equal to 6 or x is equal to 1. Now I must just check my solutions. Okay, 6 is definitely none of those, so that is a solution. 1 is none of those, so that is also a solution. All right. Okay, grade 11s. Homework, please. Exercise 2.2 for me, please. Thank you.